Hey, Steph. Wanted to connect with you because I've been getting a lot of questions about job targets. Not only how do you set a job target, how do you finalize a job target, but when is the right time to kind of revisit the job targets that have been created to make sure that they're still accurate. If they're older than a certain amount of time, we know that changes happen within organizations a lot, and clients keep asking, when should I revisit that? I was thinking it would be a great opportunity for the two of us to discuss and kind of share our best practices, and see if we can come up with something that would be beneficial to share with our clients.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And it is really something that I'm talking about with my clients as well. Especially, I think this is a perfect time. This is spring cleaning, as it were, right? Let's get back into the PI software as we think about spring cleaning and start looking at those job targets now. And I would say no more than yearly. Sure, there is a lot of change within the organizations, but yearly it's good to go dust them off and see if they still fit within the organization. So the things you want to look at, some of the key things you want to, be aware of is how many people you've hired through that job target in the last 6 months to a
Mm-hmm.
year, and have they stayed? How have they worked out? Have they aligned with the organization, with
Mm-hmm.
the culture, with the job? And really take that data, looking at those what they were, candidates before and
Mm-hmm.
employees now, to see if they continue to match. If that continues to work, great. You may not need to change a whole lot. However, if some of those employees haven't worked out, or you haven't been able to engage or keep them, maybe there is misalignment and it's best to go through the whole process again.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could review it with key stakeholders, which might be identified as different people than they were a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another option I think about is utilizing one, basing it off of one profile,
Mm-hmm.
right? Someone who works really well in that position that has lasted a long time. What are your thoughts on that, Erin?
Yeah, I like that. So I love your idea of kind of revisiting the people that were interviewed and hired to see, were they aligning? Did they end up working out? Can we see that the behavioral
Yes.
requirements really were a match? And even if they were, if there were changes within the organization between when it was created and now, we might still need to look at it and identify, are there areas where we might need to make a change, especially if there's been a change in the leadership to the group, or a change in just the structure of the way that things are handled. It might impact that job target. But using one top performer can be an amazing way to take a look and just quickly say, based on what we know about this position and how this person is performing, how well do they align with the position? If they're aligning pretty well, in most cases, it's probably going to be a target that you can keep at that time. But that doesn't mean that it won't change in the future. So I love that idea.
Yeah, I think those are good ways to start thinking about it and getting in and reviewing those job targets again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, best practice. A lot of times, if people have a lot of jobs that are out there, I always say don't bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
Pick the most important positions. Pick the ones that you hire most. Look at those first. It doesn't have to be super time consuming. It can be very simple, as just as simple as the person that's in charge of those job targets looking at it, kind of reviewing what they had originally, and making a recommendation on where changes need to be made, sharing the report with the stakeholders, and then calling it done. So it doesn't have to be a long process, but it is something that is really going to benefit an organization to make sure that those targets aren't stale if they've been out there for a while.
Yes. I think that sounds great. I think
Awesome.
that's a great recommendation.
Thank you.
I would tell all my clients to start looking at that.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. I just wanted to make sure we were both on the same page and hope that this information can prove helpful to some of our clients. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.